Hi there and welcome back. I am Vankush and in today's episode we will be unlocking and building basic steel production. It will be part of a bigger factory. In future episode we will take portion of today's build's output and bring it to advanced steel factory. Last time we have built this coal generator power plant, but we were limited with conveyor belts Mark II and miners Mark I to use only 16 power generators out of 32. Today we will automate steel beam production and steel pipe production in order to unlock conveyor belt Mark III and miner Mark II, so we can come back to this power plant and reconnect it to take the full advantage of all 32 coal generators. We'll start with unlocking basic steel production milestone in Hub. We are already automating all items required. We can unlock improved melee combat as well to get some extra inventory slots and improved weapon. I have researched the hard drive that we found in last episode in a crash site under the coal generator power plant. For today's build, solid steel ingot recipe will be very useful as it will increase the production of steel beams and steel pipes that we can produce from coal and iron ingots. If you didn't get this recipe from your hard drive, you can either load your save from before you put the hard drive into the MOM, or you can go crash site hunting to get more hard drives. For the basic steel factory, we will need 505 iron ore and 505 coal. We will smelt the iron ore in 17 smelters into iron ingots. In 13 foundries, we will use these iron ingots and coal to make steel ingots. We will bring these steel ingots to 16 constructors. 10 constructors will be making 150 steel beams and 6 constructors will make 105 steel pipes. The whole build, including 2 miners, will consume 352 megawatts, what is not an issue with our coal generators. This factory processes high amount of items per minute. But as we don't have automated steel beams yet, I will build it first using conveyor belts Mark II, and once the factory produces enough steel beams, I will upgrade conveyor belts to Mark III. Location for today's build will be south from our base, on top of that peak. This will be a good location for steel factory, as we have plenty of iron around in this area, and for future when we will want to build advanced steel factory, we also have concrete available and copper that we previously used for base factory. The only resource that we don't have available at this location and we will have to bring here is coal. We will bring it from the location where is our coal generator power plant located. The footprint of today's build will be 10 by 10 foundations, and the basic steel factory will be 4 levels high. The foundation is ready. I connected it to base with catwalk for easy access to get all the resources we will need for building this factory. On this floor, on level 1, we will have 17 smelters, all smelting iron. One of the smelters will be underclocked to 83.33%. We will bring iron from the west side, and the iron ingot outputs will be on the east side of the build. We are looking now towards north. With conveyor belts connected, it should look something like this. Now let's connect it to electricity, and we can connect miners as well. As for the iron nodes, we can use one iron node over here. The other iron node here is blocked and we didn't unlock explosives yet, so we cannot use it. But we can use another iron node that we have on the other side here. With the miners and electricity connected, we should soon see iron ingots coming out of the smelters. We are using manifold system in this build, therefore it will take a while until the resources will get to the last machines. I will be using catwalk stairs to get in between the levels. We'll skip level 2 for now. We'll first do level 3 and then we'll come back down to level 2, as level 2 will be dedicated to conveyor belt management, and it will be easier to connect inputs and outputs once we first place them on level 3. On level 3, we will have 2 inputs of iron ingots. Both inputs will be on eastern side of the factory. The southern one will take 240 iron ingots. The northern one will bring 265 iron ingots. On level 3, we will have 13 foundries. In first 2 rows, we will have 5 foundries in each row, all of them working at 100%. In the northern row, we'll have 3 foundries. One of them, the most west one, will be working at 62.5%. The brown pipes on the floor plan represent conveyor belts that are elevated and go above other conveyor belts. The reason why we are building level 3 before level 2 is Because the software that I'm using for floor plans, called SALT, doesn't have correct placement for inputs on foundries. They are offset one hinge to the left. Therefore, on a floor plan for level 3, it may look like that the inputs we need to place through the floor are at a different position than in reality. You can notice also at the floor plan that the conveyor belt between two foundries in the middle row and top row is in a bit of an angle. This again because of the wrong placement of the inputs on foundries in this software. In reality, this conveyor belt will be straight. I have prepared inputs and outputs. The two dark purple ones will be inputs of coal. The rest of the conveyor walls will serve as outputs for steel ingots. We can place the first foundry, two foundations from the south and one foundation from the east. And we can align the foundry in such a way that the back input is aligned with the joint between the foundations. Next foundry will align to the middle of where are joining next two foundations. There will be 5 foundries in the first row, all facing north. With conveyor belts connected, it should look something like this. We are getting coal directly to the level 3, but iron ingots we will be getting from level 2. To connect foundries to the level below, I used conveyor floor holes. We can place them like this in front of a foundry input and then connect it with conveyor lift. We have one coal input on south side of level 3 and another one to the north of eastern side. One input of coal brings coal to the back of the first row of foundries and splits it to the back of the second row, where it will be merging to one of the foundries, and it will be also merging further into one of the foundries at the very last row. Second input of coal is splitting between second and third row of foundries. Between each row of foundries, there is a gap of 2 foundations for mergers. The 2 lines of mergers between first and second row of foundries are lifted with conveyor lifts above the other conveyor belts. We are merging here the first 2 foundries into one output, and the rest of the foundries are merged 4 on each side to another 2 outputs. The last 3 foundries are merged together into a 4th output. Let's go back down to level 2. With the foundry inputs prepared, it will be much easier to connect them. We'll bring iron ingots from level 1 to level 2, and on level 2 we will split these iron ingots between all 13 inputs of foundries on level 3. Once our conveyor belts are connected, it should look like this. One more conveyor belt over here. This is the view from northeast corner of the level. Back on level 3, the foundries are getting iron, but we need to bring them coal. We will bring coal from our coal generator's location. In this episode we are not going to get into the trucks, but instead we will go with a simple solution. We will build a straight bridge from our factory to the coal location. I have prepared the 2 coal inputs that are marked with this dark purple color, and I brought them here to the edge of this foundation. We'll go a little bit straight, like this, and now we can place a foundation in an angle and just go to the coal. I placed 2 new miners on coal nodes next to the coal power plant, and here is the first coal rolling into our factory. On level 4 there are 16 constructors. 10 constructors at the south are making steel beams. 6 constructors on the north are making steel pipes. One of the 6 constructors making steel pipes is underclocked to 25%. There are 3 inputs of steel ingots going to 10 constructors making steel beams, and 1 input of steel ingots going to the 6 constructors making steel pipes. As we are already producing steel beams, I started upgrading conveyor belts to Mark III, but until all the conveyor belts will be upgrade it to Mark III, the efficiency will not be 100% yet. Outputs of steel beams are elevated to go above other conveyor belts, and both outputs of steel beams and steel pipes are split. One output of steel beams and steel pipes go to the base, and the other outputs of both steel pipes and steel beams goes to the east side of the factory. We'll use these two outputs in future for advanced steel factory. Once we have enough steel beams, we can upgrade all conveyor belts and conveyor lifts to Mark III. The easiest way is just to select conveyor lift Mark III and target conveyor belt Mark II and upgrade. We also have to upgrade our miners to miners Mark II. And as we need 505 iron ore, and we are using 2 Mark II miners on pure iron nodes, we need to overclock one to get 265 iron ore. At the coal location, next to the coal power plant, one of my miners is on pure node, so it is getting 240 coal per minute with miner Mark II, but the other one is just normal, so even with Mark II miner it is getting only 120 units per minute. We'll need to overclock this one to get 265, so in total we would get 505 coal. While we are at the coal location, we can as well upgrade miners to Mark II for our coal power plant, and we can upgrade all the conveyor belts Mark II to Mark III. When we previously built this power plant, each miner was providing enough coal for 8 coal generators, but with the miners Mark II and conveyor belts Mark III, each miner will provide enough coal for 16 coal generators, so we can connect one of the belts to the other 16 coal generators at the back, as the first miner will provide enough coal for the first 16 coal generators. Once all coal generators fill up with coal, they should be all working fine, and we should have all 32 coal generators working now. And we've got our basic steel factory ready. It spits out 105 steel pipes and 150 steel beams. On the left side we build a bridge to bring in coal to the factory, and from the other side we take in iron ore. I have built 2 bridges to connect to the base. One is a catwalk bridge that is just for walking for easy access. The other bridge brings outputs into our base. I placed 2 additional containers in our storage area for steel beams and steel pipes, but in future we will not be keeping the whole output of this factory. We'll be keeping only 30 steel pipes and 30 steel beams. The rest of the output we'll use for advanced steel factory. We also upgraded today our coal generators to take full advantage of all 32 coal generators. In next episode we'll be building advanced steel factory to automate encased industrial beams, starters, motors and heavy modular frames. And that will be all for today. Thank you for watching, and if you like this content, please like and subscribe.